Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody back. I hope you had a good lunch. We're going to start the afternoon session. First up is going to be Dave Washburn from the MSU Foundation. And I think we've already heard how impactful Cisplatin has been, among other things, on MSU and the foundation. And so with no further ado, Dave Washburn.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure on behalf of the Michigan State University Foundation and our Board of Directors to welcome you all to this symposium and this celebration. It's been really great. We were talking at lunch, and it reminds me of a kind of reunion. I'm peering in on a reunion of friends and colleagues that have been have known each other for a long time, and it's just great for us, and it's great for me personally just to hear this story because the foundation was originally created in the early 70s, and eventually when all the royalties that came in from the drugs, Cisplatin and carboplatin, the university had a lot of foresight and parked all of the proceeds off into the foundation. So we're sort of strategically aligned but legally separate. I have to admit that I didn't think I would have the same graphic as someone else in this presentation, but Professor Calvert already used this slide. So I guarantee that I won't have any other graphics that resemble any of the other graphics I've seen this morning. But so this just shows you kind of the royalty stream that came into the foundation, and all told it was about $325 million that came into the foundation. And so what we do with that is we sort of, our job is to protect it and grow it, and then use the proceeds to sort of catalyze a whole bunch of new things. And so I'll just talk briefly about some of those things today, but just to show you today what it looks like, it's about $425 million is the total value of the assets that sit inside the foundation. So we've done a good job of growing it, but we've also spent a lot of the proceeds giving it back to the university. And this is this probably looks like your retirement plans or your 401ks, just to show you that we have a diversified portfolio that will hopefully react to all kinds of different market conditions. So, but our value and our mission today is we really view ourselves as an entity that helps MSU achieve their ability, achieve preeminence in their role as a leader of research and discovery and innovation. And so our job is to again, preserve the capital, grow it, create new projects, create new entities, and to serve MSU. And so we do that through our partnership with the MSU Innovation Center. And so my colleague Charlie Hausman is back there, who leads the MSU Innovation Center. The foundation, we really sort of work directly with them and through them to run a number of our programs. The first of which is, we grant a lot of money back to the university. So last year sorry, that didn't come out very well. It looks better on my screen here. But it's about $9.5 million every year that the foundation grants back to MSU. And we've been doing this for, a number of years, probably 25 years. So you can imagine that, over time, we've given, well over $250 million back to the university to do a variety of things. We help support the MSU Patent Office, so hopefully we can find some other killer inventions that will have, sort of financial impact and other kinds of impact. We help, build capacity. We help with strategic partnership grants, so we provide the funds for the university to do new grant programs amongst their faculty, and also we facilitate a whole bunch of things like professorship. So I'll just talk briefly about our the tech transfer office here And I see Ann DeSanti in the back, and I don't know if Rich Chilla is here today, but all of the tech transfer activity happens in the MSU Innovation Center, and we help provide some of the resources that enable them to go out and find these new inventions on campus and pay for new patents. As you know, patents are not cheap these days. And over the last 4 years, we've had over 500 inventions that have come into the patent office. And as you know, it takes a long time from an invention to actually reach the market. And so our work with the Tech Transfer Office is, we view ourselves, we have this capacity to be very patient as technology is invented and protected, but also going through the innovation life cycle. So we provide a lot of resources to our Tech Transfer Office. By the way, just as a footnote, over the last 2 years, nearly 48% of our inventions at MSU that were disclosed were either invented or co-invented by women, and that's something that's very important to all of us at MSU. Another program that we've done recently in the last 3 or 4 years is we've worked with the Provost's office and the Vice President of Research, and we created these MSU Foundation professorships. And so, it's very competitive to find, hire, and retain the very best faculty. And so when we're trying to recruit new faculty to our campus, many times we can use a foundation professorship to sort of sweeten the offer. And so we work through the Vice President of Research's office to have these foundation professorships available. And we also use them to retain our faculty. So it's not uncommon for other universities to try to pinch and steal our researchers and our faculty. And so we can use this tool to help use it as a retention tool. And so today we've got, I think the number's 32 or 33 professors, MSU Foundation professors. And the deal is it's about $300,000 to the faculty member that's paid out over a series of 5 years. And after 5 years, the funding ends, but the title is in perpetuity, of course, unless they leave. One final example of sort of the grant programs that we provide to the university is this strategic partnership grant. This is a program run by the VP of Research's office, and what they do is every year they put out a call for proposals. There's a committee that evaluates proposals and funds the most interesting sort of collaborative proposals that have the kind of impact that a Cisplatin had, and we fund 3 of these every year. And so over the past kind of 15 years, we've provided $28 million in funding for these SPG proposals on campus, and those teams have gone on to raise an additional $167 million in outside funding. And so we think that these kinds of programs are very impactful to help continue to grow the research engine at the university. So I talked about some of the grant programs that we do with the university. We also have a number of subsidiary companies or related entities in the foundation that are primarily involved in commercialization, entrepreneurship, and also real estate. So I'll just talk briefly about some of those. The first of which is an entity we call SPARTAN Innovations. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of the foundation. It's a venture development company. So the idea is that as faculty and students come to the university with ideas and they want to perhaps go down the path of being an entrepreneur and starting a company, we have the resources available through this SPARTAN Innovations entity to help those individuals go down the path of creating a company. So in the last couple of years, we've created 8 new companies out of intellectual property created by our faculty, and we've had in the last year 248 student teams come through our Hatch program at SPARTAN Innovations. Another program that we just recently launched was a pre-seed venture fund, or a gap fund, if you will. getting from the end of a research project and getting it to become sort of the front end of a startup company, there's usually a large gap. And so this funding program, we created an entity called Red Cedar Ventures, and we provide seed stage funding for early stage startups to get them started. So it could be in increments of $5,000 up to a couple $100,000 to help get a team together, get a business plan together. And these are done through investments. They're either equity or convertible debt instruments that we do with the companies, but they're primarily MSU faculty and staff and students who are taking their ideas and their intellectual property out of the university and trying to create a company out of this. And so these logos are some of the examples of some of the companies that we have spun out recently. And this is an ongoing operation that we're involved with in the foundation in conjunction with our friends at the MSU Innovation Center. And finally, the last thing that we're interested in is real estate. Several, 25 years ago, we were granted, we were provided 110 acres of land just south of the University Club, and with the impetus to grow a research park. And so today we've got 3 buildings out on the park right now, and we just recently announced a collaboration with McLaren Healthcare Corporation, which is one of the main hospital systems in Lansing, and they're going to build a $500 million hospital in our research park just south of the University Club. And so for us, we had the land, and the foundation sort of was able to do the land deal. But I think the more important thing and the more compelling thing are all the research collaborations and all the possibilities by having this hospital right next to us. So it's going to be a 260-bed hospital. We'll have a 40,000 square foot cancer center attached to it with a complete medical office building there. So the South Research Park on campus is going to change significantly in the next 3 years with the addition of this hospital in our research park. But we also have we have a traditional incubator. This is located downtown East Lansing at 325 East Grand River. It used to be a department store, then it was a bookstore, and now it's where we have our incubator. So startups coming out of our shop can have a place to live and get started with access to mentors and entrepreneurs and things like that. And then we also have an accelerator program that we just recently launched 3 years ago. And so every summer we pick 5 teams, and we give each team $20,000 in exchange for 5% of their company, and we send them through a 10-week program to help them get their company launched. And so that is at a very high level some of the types of activities that we do in the foundation. And this is all, our ability to do this is primarily because, of what Cisplatin, did for the foundation financially. So our objective is to sort of protect the core of the foundation assets, provide a stream of research dollars to the university, and then try to find those new ideas, that new intellectual property that comes out of those research ideas and sort of completes that circle, if you will. So this is a photo of our last team. We had a Final Four competition in Chicago over the summer. We had Michigan State, Illinois, DePaul, and Purdue universities all meeting in the 1871 incubator in downtown Chicago, and a team from MSU won the whole thing, of course. So we're very excited about that. And then this is just a picture of our team, as well as most of the team from the MSU Innovation Center. And so, again, on behalf of our board and on our staff at the foundation, and also I'd say on behalf of the MSU Innovation Center, we're certainly glad you're here. It's been great to hear all these stories about sort of the development of Cisplatin through the years, and I think this afternoon we're going to be excited to hear about some of the new things that are being worked on today. So with that, Rob, I'll end there. I don't know if you want to do any Q&A here or just keep the program moving.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So, to me, again, it's that observation made 50 years ago by Loretta and Barney, and the reach that it's had is amazing. So why don't we, if there are any questions for Dave?
All right.
I guess not. All right.
Thank you.
Dave, thank
Thank you.
you.